Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, Appeal Court upholds Senator Ademola Adeleke's candidacy in the 2018 governorship election in Osun State, says the PDP candidate possessed the basic qualification of school certificate. House of Representatives asked President Buhari to rescind executive order revoking gun licenses across the country. Economy comes under focus as we continue our assessment of President Buhari's administration in the past 4 years and the issues to be tackled in his second term. And 7 South Korean tourists die, 24 others missing as boat capsizes on Denver River in Budapest, Hungary.
On business news tonight, National Industrial Court orders immediate reinstatement of suspended Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Munir Gwarzo.
On sports news tonight, Flying Eagles of Nigeria advanced to the round of 16 at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup as best losers.
And from Abuja, security experts gather to review and validate 2014 National Security Strategy as part of measures in tackling the security challenges in the country.
Abuja Division of the Appeal Court has affirmed that Senator Ademola Adeleke was indeed qualified to contest the 2018 governorship election in Osun State, having possessed the basic qualification of a school certificate. The appellate court consequently upheld Senator Adeleke's appeal and set aside the ruling of an Abuja High Court in Buhari, which had nullified his candidacy. In the lead judgment, Justice Emmanuel Agim held that the lower court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the suit in the first place. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, reports.
On April 12, 2019, Justice Othman Musa of an FCT High Court sitting in the Buhari area of Abuja held that Senator Ademola Adeleke did not possess the requisite educational qualification to contest the Osun State governorship election in 2018. More than a month after, the appeal court has set aside that judgment for being defective. Justice Emmanuel Agim, who delivered the lead judgment, held that the Federal Capital Territory High Court lacked the jurisdiction to hear the matter in the first place because it was filed outside the 14 days stipulated by law for a pre-election matter. The appellate court also faulted the judgment of the lower court on the grounds that the judgment was delivered well outside the 180 days provided by the law. Justice Emmanuel Agim held that Justice Othman Musa of the FCT High Court lacked the territorial jurisdiction to hear the suit in the first place, being an issue that occurred in Osun State, and consequently set aside his judgment. The three-man panel also held that the lower court erred in law and engaged in gross miscarriage of the appellant's rights to fair hearing when it reached its decision that Senator Adeleke falsified his result without considering the facts placed before it by the West African Examination Council.
We are justified today because the Court of Appeal is standing with us. It has set aside the decision of the lower courts and affirming our position that our candidate, who actually won the election in Osun State, was qualified for that election at the time we fielded him.
Actually, we are bound by the decisions. The only thing is just that there are some areas where we are of the view that probably should have gone the other way. But like I said, the decision of the justices, they are the king here.
The court dismissed the suit with a cost of 3 million naira in favor of Senator Ademola Adeleke. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the appellate court in Abuja has also set aside the judgment of Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Federal High Court, which sacked Senator Peter Nwoboshe as Senator-elect of Delta North Senatorial District. Justice Mohammed Idris, who read the lead judgment, held that after a forensic examination of the affidavits and exhibits, the court came to the conclusion that the cause of the complaints was a primary election held in Delta North Senatorial District. He said at the time Mr. Ned Nwoko filed the suit challenging the primary, it was status barred and did not meet the requirement of 14 days for which a pre-election matter can be filed, so the lower court had no business entertaining it. Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Federal High Court had ruled that Senator Ngoboshi was not the winner of the October 2nd, 2018 People's Democratic Party primary held to select a candidate for the 2019 elections. And here in Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, the Federal High Court has dismissed an application by Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel challenging its jurisdiction to hear the money laundering suit filed against the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Paul Soro. Justice Rilwan Aikawa held that Governor Emmanuel's application lacked merit because he is not a party to the suit. At the last adjourned date of May the 10th, the governor, through his counsel, argued that it was illegal for the EFCC to include his name in the charge since he still enjoys constitutional immunity. In the charge, the EFCC alleged that Mr. Usoro had converted and laundered the money in connivance with the Akwa Ibom State Governor. Governor Emmanuel was, however, not listed as defendant, as the anti-graft agency indicated that he is currently immune against criminal prosecution. The court also granted an order directing the EFCC to serve its proof of evidence and summary of some of its witnesses' statements on oath to the defendant within 7 days. The trial has been adjourned to July the 3rd. And still at the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos, Nigerian musician Naira Marley has been granted bail in the sum of 2 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum. The court handed the bail conditions to the musician today as his trial for alleged internet fraud continues. Justice Nicholas Owibo held that one of the sureties must be a public servant, not less than grade level 10 in the federal or state civil service. The court said the other surety must have landed property within the court's jurisdiction, which must be verified by the court. The trial has been fixed for October the 22nd, 23rd and 24th after the court's annual vacation. And from the court to the Senate, lawmakers have confirmed the appointment of Justice Sadiq Musa as president of the Customary Court of Appeal. His confirmation is on the request of President Muhammadu Buhari. The Senate had to suspend its rules and processes to confirm Justice Musa within minutes of the reading of President Buhari's letter of request to the lawmakers. Our correspondent Terry Kumi reports.
In the absence of the Senate President, Deputy Senate President Ike Kuremadu presides over the last plenary of the week.
Further letter from Mr. President.
He reads a communication from President Muhammadu Buhari.
Pursuant to Section 32664 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and upon the advice of the National Judicial Council, I hereby present for confirmation by the Senate the appointment of Honorable Justice Abazi Musa Abubakar Sadiq as the President, Customary Court of Appeal, FCT Abuja.
Then the Senate leader moves an unusual motion.
We cannot afford to go through all the normal processes of our confirmation process and procedure. I will therefore move that we suspend all the process that ordinarily we could have gone through with a view to meeting this national interest by confirming the nominee in the committee of the whole.
The normal process would have been for the matter to be brought up as a motion and referred to a Senate committee which would screen and recommend his confirmation to the Senate. Justice Sadiq is, however, available for screening, another unusual occurrence.
And distinguished senators,
Senators shower encomiums on him and his nomination is confirmed.
I know him to be a very erudite judge, a gentleman, and I think this appointment is well merited.
Judiciary being the hope, last hope of the common man. There is so much hope in you to do what you are known for.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Justice Musa Abubakar Sadiq as the President, Customary Court of Appeal, FCT Abuja? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
It takes just about 15 minutes from the time the letter was read for Justice Musa Sadiq to be confirmed as President of the Customary Court of Appeal. The Senate says its action, although unusual, is in tandem with its rules and permitted by the circumstance of time available to the 8th Senate. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
Still at the National Assembly, the House of Representatives is asking President Buhari to rescind the executive order he signed, revoking all certificates and licenses for firearms throughout the Federation. This follows consideration of a motion sponsored by Honorable Nnenna Okeje, who drew the attention of members to the insecurity in the country and the need for citizens to protect themselves and their families. Our correspondent Larry Lassisi reports.
It is less than 2 weeks to the end of the 8th Assembly, and this is the second plenary of the week. One key document considered is a motion of urgent national importance. It is as regards an executive order by the President revoking all certificates and licenses of firearms in the country. The sponsor of the motion says the order targets legal gun owners and their guns, and not the small arms and light weapons that are at the center of numerous crimes.
The House is concerned that this omnibus order targets legal gun owners and their guns, while there doesn't seem to be either institutional actionable policies or plans to mop up small arms and light weapons that are at the center of these crimes.
The motion leads to a debate.
I need to know when this executive order was signed, where was there, is there any copy, when was it signed? So we need to know. I even tried to contact the police to know if I will surrender my license, but they say there is no issue like that.
This order in itself does not serve any purpose other than to cause more insecurity in Nigeria, and it will even incentivize the criminals now saying, yes, now we're going to have a field day because now Nigerians have returned to their guns.
Mr. Speaker, today we have communities where people that have this license guns provide the security for that community with these their license guns. They go out as vigilantes within that community because the security we have are so overstretched that they cannot, I repeat, cannot govern or secure all other some communities within this nation, cities, for example.
The procedure that the police currently use is wrong, and because it is wrong, the president is right to say they should withdraw it. Then let them bring up a regulation to the floor of this house to be known to every Nigerian, so that if I'm qualified to own a gun and the police refuses to give it to me, I will challenge them in the court of law that they must give me.
The motion is then put to a vote.
Those who are in favor of the motion should say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it.
The House is also urging the President to sign into law a bill establishing a national commission against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. The House has adjourned till the 6th of June for its valedictory session and what will be the last plenary of the 8th House of Representatives. Lanre Lassisi, Channels Television News.
While the lawmakers raise their concerns about gun licenses, the President is already out of the country, attending the summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, holding on Friday in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. President Buhari left the country for the meeting the day after his inauguration for another 4-year term. The 14th session of the summit, with the theme Hand in Hand Toward the Future, will be hosted by King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and attended by heads of state and governments of member states. The President is expected to return to the country on Sunday, June the 2nd. In part 2, after the break, we examine the shape of the economy in President Buhari's second term and will be joined by the team lead, Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Economic Development Initiative, Mr. Celestin Okeke. In a moment, please stay with us.